Despite the leading figures of the Labour Party as well as the Liberal establishment coming out and condemning the riots with stern faces to show how serious they are, this is actually quite a good thing for them. What I mean is, we're now going to see a turn from the tragedy of the actual event towards the response to the event being the key issue in the Liberal media. And this benefits them because it stops the momentum of the key questions around all of this. Who was this person? Why on earth was he attacking children? Did he hate them because they were white? How many more people in our country have this ideology? The focus will now switch to points such as the supposed quote-unquote far right are the scum of the earth and they need to be eradicated from modern Britain. Look at this community clearing up in Southport. They believe in love and tolerance and mass immigration and multiculturalism. Why don't you, you bigot? And here we see that process is already in full swing in The Guardian. Here's a middle-class liberal woman stating that we have allowed the demonisation and dehumanisation of male refugees. They are victims too. You might think that's an odd line to take after the son of some Rwandan migrants have just stabbed to death a load of children. However, all they're really trying to do here is wrestle back control of the narrative. Here's a British Indian author who writes books about how terrible Britain and colonialism is, stating the far right is one of the biggest terrorist threats faced by Britain. Oh really? So not the fella who just stabbed a load of children or the plethora of terrorist attacks we've had from fundamentalist Islamists. Here's a Labour councillor for Cheltenham stating that the EDL should be classified as an illegal terrorist organisation. There is nothing British about victimisation, xenophobia, marginalising our societies and bringing more stress to our vital emergency services. Firstly, if you're so concerned about our emergency services and the division of British culture, maybe stop with your mad woke ideology that started all this, and on top of that, stop with the mass immigration that's stretching our social services. Firstly, she's blaming the EDL here, but is that confirmed? Have the EDL actually taken responsibility for the attacks last night? I thought we weren't supposed to speculate on social media. Sky News, meanwhile, is blaming Nigel Farage, while Keir Starmer states that now isn't the time to talk about knife crime.
You've talked about tackling knife crime a moral mission for your government. Is anything going to change? Is anything going to happen as a result of what happened yesterday?
I am very worried about high levels of knife crime, and I'm absolutely determined that my government will get to grips with it. But today is not the time for politics. Today is the time to focus entirely on the families who are going through such pain and grief.
Let's be honest, this isn't about knife crime. We all know knife crime is something down in London where architects and engineers tend to fall out with each other every once in a while. This was a brutal, savage attack. Yet there's a reason he doesn't want to talk about knife crime as well, because last night there was a machete fight between some of our new arrivals. I can only show you a still of that previous video because YouTube may take the video down, but you can see on the screen here people running away from the melee. And while all of this is going on, the Labour Party have announced they're going to be building 1.5 million new homes. Who do you think those homes are going to house? These homes apparently are going to be new, affordable social and council homes. Essentially, that's marketing speak for Soviet-style tower blocks that border onto green spaces. Oh, and by the way, after campaigning on the basis they're going to fix the foundations of the country and not increase taxes, they're going to increase taxes to pay for all of this. However, as I said on a previous video, I don't condone the riots, but anybody could see this coming. It's been building and bubbling away for years and years. The Liberal establishment have ignored many repeated warnings about the issues our country is facing, especially from the working classes who bear the brunt of mass immigration. The reality is that many people feel that they're losing their country, their culture, their identity, and on top of that, the streets that they grew up on are now increasingly foreign and distant to them, with an extreme level of violence. The response of the liberal elite to that over the past couple of decades is just to yell, "You're evil and racist and not welcome in modern Britain, you scumbag." After doing this for years and years, what did they think would eventually happen? Reality isn't the Guardian newspaper. Many people are feeling frightened in their own country about the future. If the Labour Party line is going to be, you're all far-right scumbags if you're upset by the stabbing of children, this isn't going to end well. As much as they preach tolerance and diversity, they are dividing people more and more and are way out of their depth. These are just my thoughts, however. Do let me know what you think down below, and do consider subscribing to the channel.